And now...
Oh. That's ridiculous.
John goes to work. That'll make a welcome change. Today, John is going to work. John works part-time as a junior traffic boy on the radio. Do you know what the basic minimum wage is? This is your BBC. Well, John puts on his best work clothes, a blue satin catsuit with white knee-length boots. See, Agnete Veldskog.
Bring her in.
You can bring in the red-headed one at the same time if you like. When John arrives at work, there's a couple waiting to go into the studio. John says, "Is there someone looking after you?" And the man says, "We're Mr. and Mrs. Quinn from Dublin, and we're here to do an interview about food and drink." Do you like food and drink? John does. See the elasticated waistband. See John looking at their big Tupperware boxes. Greedy John. John says, "What sort of food are you John says, "What sort of food are you going to talk about?"
The best, I prefer the first one, actually.
Mr. Quinn says, "It's mainly whole foods. Mrs. Quinn is very good with pulses." They're Irish. And John says, Has someone got you a drink and a biscuit? I think the producer has some short Scottish fingers.
Oh, no.
I'll just speak to him and let him know you're here. "Thank you," says Mrs. Quinn. "Do you know if there are any drinks available? I'm a little nervous. I normally have a cup of coffee and a drop of scotch, if there is any." John says, "There's BBC..." God.
I thought she was Irish.
She was Irish, yes. What was wrong with that?
An Irish accent.
John says, "There's BBC coffee." Do you know what BBC coffee tastes like? Mrs. Quinn says, "Something a little stronger to go with it would be good." Reminds me of my mother. John remembers that his friend Lynn keeps a big bottle of Igor Tidy Welsh vodka under her desk and fetches a big glass for Mrs. Quinn. Kind John. "Thank you," says Mrs. Quinn. It's time for John to do his traffic report. See John wave goodbye to Mr. and Mrs. Quinn and go into his little cupboard. Soon it's going home time. John puts his board games in his briefcase and catches the train home. When John arrives, Janet is doing some ironing. Janet says, "Did you have a nice day at work, John?" "Yes," says John. "I met a very nice couple in the office. Mr. Quinn said his wife was famous because she'd do anything with a pulse. But Mrs. Quinn was a bit nervous and needed a drink. And she said that she normally has a stiff Johnny Walker chaser, but what I gave her was just as nice." She did say...
Yes. Did she?
She did say she preferred something a little harder. See Janet strap John to the ironing board, turn up the steam setting.
Oh, no.
Hear the screams. Poor John.
Oh, that's sore.
And while you're at it, there's another Janet and John. CD, look at it. I know, sailing close to the wind. Could anything be more appropriate? Or could anything be less appropriate in view of John March's total inability to sail a boat anywhere apart from the marina? And as told by Terry Wogan, Radio 2, Janet and John stories, sailing close to the wind. And there's a bonus track with Canon Roger Royal to be avoided. Nonetheless, if you fancy it, it's www.charitygoods.com. That's where you'll get it. And incidentally, this is still on the market, bandaged, sold in its thousands, nay millions, over Christmas. All the best of Radio 2. When I say that, I lie, because it's all the scruffs singing and performing well beyond their abilities. But it's sold wonderfully well. And all of it is on behalf of children in need. I know you'll help. Thank you.
they told me, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum.
That's ridiculous.